It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Story time on why I don't play with who's on the invite list when it comes to planning out-of-town trips. So the year was 2020. It was November. We were fresh on campus, and I think it was like during COVID, so like we were on lockdown, so classes were online. So I was living with two close friends. We'll call one Pink and we'll call the other one America. One random night, America, I remember she was at home, so me and Pink were just in the apartment, and like we were just bored. So I think that we decided to just hang out for a little bit, and we decided to plan an out-of-town trip. We decided to go to Atlanta. So in the midst of us planning, we decided that of course we were going to invite America, but I came up with the idea to invite Pink's external friend, who was her best friend from home, and we'll call her Purple for this story. A little bit of backstory: Purple didn't go to school with us, but like, you know, she did come and hang out with us on like 2 occasions, with the most recent occasion being 2 weeks before Pink and I decided to plan this trip. So once we finished planning the trip, like we sent the girls the information, both girls were on board, so like everything got paid for, whatever. Fast forward, it's time for the trip. All the girls are excited. We all in a group chat like, oh my god, we can't wait to hang out, blah blah blah. Fast forward, we are on the plane. I think that the two best friends, so Pink and Purple, I think that they rode together. Remember, Pink is the roommate with me in America, and then me and America, we also flew together. So we all ended up meeting up in Atlanta's airport, and I think we all met like either while walking to baggage claim, and I remember we all got our bags, and literally in the midst of us getting our bags, like out of nowhere, Purple started like getting little attitudes, which didn't make sense to me, but I was just like, okay, maybe she's just irritated from the flight. So I remember Pink asking her best friend, she was like, what's wrong? And I remember her being like, nothing. But it wasn't like a genuine, like, oh, nothing's wrong, like, I'm just quiet right now. It was like a nothing, like she was irritated. So I remember me and America were kind of looking at each other like, okay, like, you just kind of threw the vibe off because we was just all happy. Like, how did you just get upset in the span of like 2 to 3 minutes? Like, it just didn't make sense. But we ignored it. We get outside of baggage claim, so we're calling our Uber. And in the midst of us calling our Uber, like, Purple was off to the side, like on her phone, texting, doing whatever, while the rest of us were like, okay, cool, like, we're going to get this Uber and we're going to go and get us a zip car. So we decided to Uber to the zip car location. And once we got to the zip car location, like, we were literally trying to figure out how to get the car, like, how would we pay for it? Like, we were truly struggling. And it was like a bit of a process to where, okay, I could see why somebody would get upset, but it was more so like, okay, let's figure this out. Therefore, you know, if we do get the zip car, we won't have to Uber everywhere. As America, Pink, and I are like talking about it, trying to figure it out, and like, okay, cool, well, maybe this not gonna work out. Literally out of nowhere, Purple just start like spazzing off on the corner to herself, and she just like, this shit irritated me, like, I don't want to be here, like, I'm getting irritated, like, I'm ready to go, like, what's taking so long, blah blah blah. So I'm looking at Pink and I'm like, what's wrong with your friend? And she literally fed her off like, ignore her, like, you know, like, just whatever, like, don't even pay no attention to her. So I'm like, okay, cool, because I could care less anyway, but like, just to make sure somebody is comfortable and like everything is cool, like, you know, I was just gonna ask. Left it alone. So we end up getting in the Uber. We end up saying, forget the zip card. We end up going to the Airbnb that we had booked. So we get to the Airbnb, and literally, y'all, we was only in the Airbnb for a good maybe 5-10 minutes. Not even a full 10 minutes. All I know is like Purple on the phone. And I guess Purple was on the phone with one of her little friends from Chicago. And like her friend was like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all in the Airbnb, like, y'all should be out. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all being boring. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. I try to hold my tongue when it comes to other people's friends, especially when, like, you know, I'm just like, okay, cool, like, maybe that's just how she get down, like, you know, it's those group of people who be like so rah-rah and fast to go, fast on the move, but like, that's not me, and that's not any of our vibe in the group, not even her best friend at the time. So I'm just like, okay, girl, like, whatever. I'm still brushing it off, though. But also, I can see that America's getting irritated, and Pink is also side on her, like, girl, like, tell your friend we literally just got here. And he was like, yeah, I know y'all just got here, but, like, damn, do something, whatever. So he ends up off the phone, so we all decide that we're hungry. So we end up hitting up OLG. I don't remember much of what happened on the car ride to OLG, but what I do
She
remember
said
is that
he.
like once we got in there, we sat down, we sat in like the little basement part, we ordered our food, and like we're all talking and having conversation, like kikiing and everything like that. And Purple was kind of like standoffish, like she's not talking to us, like barely paying attention to us, on her phone the whole time, eating her food. Like she would look up here and there, kind of sort of, not really too engaged with us, but like it was kind of like a yeah, like that type of thing. When you already see that somebody's not interested in whatever it is that y'all talking about, you're not finna keep fishing to pull them into the conversation. And I feel like that was more so where America and I were. We were like, okay, like this is your friend. Like granted, like I was down to invite her, but it's just like you kind of not making this experience enjoyable for everybody if you gonna like be acting weird like that. So we pushed her to the side, whatever, not paying attention to you. We end up paying our bill. We end up leaving. We call another Uber. So when we get in the Uber, I guess what she was doing on her phone was looking for plans for while we were down there, because imagine we were only staying for a couple of days. I think it was like 3 days we were there, and we left on like that fourth day. So basically, we get in the Uber. She's on the phone with the same dude who she was on the phone on the phone call with at the Airbnb when we first got there, and literally all you hear is him just like, "So what y'all doing now?" And she just like, "No, I skipped the part." So we get in the Uber, and all you literally hear is like her being like, "Oh, y'all," like while she on her phone, she like, "Oh, y'all, like I see that such and such rapper having like this little party, and like my cousin know him, and so like my cousin can get us in his section and have us on the stage with him, and blah blah blah. It's gonna be at this club at this time. Like y'all, we should go or whatever." So me, America, and Pink, if I'm being honest, like we was all like, I don't know, because it's like you saying it's your cousin, but yeah, when we all like did the little discussion of like, do we know people in Atlanta? You was like, no. So you're just like, okay, cool, noted. And then like you want us to be in this rapper section and stuff like that. It's like, is that something that we really want to do? Mind y'all, this rapper literally night. But before we even knew what was happening at that point, we was just like, nah, like we not really feeling it like that. Like we didn't come here to be on like no section hopping type of vibe. Like, you know, like we came here to have fun, but like not at the expense of somebody else. So I guess she didn't like what we were putting down. And really, I think it was Pink doing more so of the talking, because she already knew like what me and America wanted to do while there or whatever. So she literally picked up the phone, called this friend that she was on the phone with before we even left to go to eat. And she like, man, they being boring. Like, they being boring as hell. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, they not trying to do nothing. Like, we just ate, and, like, they not saying, like, what we gonna be doing next, blah, blah, blah. Imagine she said this in front of all of us. And me, I'm the type of person where, like, I don't care about what nobody's saying. Like, as long as you don't say nothing that's a direct attack towards me, or you don't say nothing that'll make me be like, okay, now I'm gonna curse you out. Like, I'll let you slide with whatever it is that you're saying, because I'm just like, girl, I really don't care. And plus, you're not even my friend. Like, if anything, I would allow your best friend to say something to you, you know? Like, I'm not just gonna jump out and curse you out because, you know, I'm gonna just leave it up to your best friend. So, like, while she's saying this and stuff like that, I do remember Pink intervening and being like, girl, like, you're doing way too much. And then she told the boy that she was on the phone with, she was like, yeah, because, like, she not even talking to me. Like, she being weird as hell. Like, she's only talking to her friends. Mind y'all, we were literally trying to include this girl in the conversation at the restaurant, but she was the one who was ignoring us. After that, we ended up going back to the Airbnb. Once we got to the Airbnb, we all decided that we wanted to go to this, like, little hookah lounge or whatever. So we all changed, ended up heading over to the place. But before we ended up leaving, Purple was like, oh, I have this friend, y'all, like, she has a car, like, you know, she willing to like take us wherever we want to go tonight. Like, okay, cool, like, we don't mind, like, let's do it. Imagine the friend had just moved down there, and I guess like she wanted to hang with us because she didn't have no plans. That's what I believe was the whole point of her being invited in the first place. So he was like, you kind of pushing it a little bit, if I'm being honest, but we'll give it a try, whatever. Like, we don't got nothing to lose at this point. So the girl comes, she picks us up, and we were driving around. Like, the vibes were good, like everything was cool. What I can say is that night I don't remember Purple like doing the most after the whole OLG like thing. What happened in the Uber after that, I don't know if her and Pink had a talk or whatever the case was, but like she was cool, she was calm. We went to the hookah lounge, we had a very good time. Now on to day two. Day two had a lot, so please bear with me, and this is where it's gonna get probably long. So day two, we ended up going to like doing like the MLK house tour, and then from like doing his house tour, we ended up going to the Harrows that they had down there in Atlanta at the time. So I remember us going to get our food, everything was cool, everything was straight, and then we were like, okay, y'all, let's go get tattoos. So we ended up going to get tattoos, and I guess Purple was cool because, like, mind y'all, she liked the type of girl that liked to be up and up and up, doing something all the time. Evidently, what I got from it. So we went to get our tattoos. After we got our tattoos, y'all, that was when her mood started to shift again out of nowhere. We had called our Uber, and I remember it was getting dark outside at this time. So we called our Uber. We asked him, could he take us to Zaxby's because we were hungry at that point or whatever. So we ended up going to Zaxby's. While in the Zaxby's line, I remember Pink being like, my phone not charged. Like, I need to charge my phone since we probably not finna stop back at the Airbnb. So I remember Purple was sitting in the front seat, and Purple was like, well, my phone's on a charger, you not finna use it. So Pink was like, okay, what percentage your phone on? And I think Purple said something along the lines like, either it don't matter or something, but basically whatever it was like a slick little remark, and she was not trying to give up that charger. So I remember me and America, again, like, America was like me, like, America was like, I'm not gonna say nothing to her friend solely off the fact I don't want us to fall out with Pink, because it's like, your friend, like, she's really doing too much, and we know that you can control somebody's behavior, but it's just like, you need to check this bitch before we have to. So me and her just give each other that look. We like, girl. And then we looking at Pink like, you finna say something to her? Like, you gonna get her, or you gonna get her? But at that point, like, I could tell that Pink was truly over it. Like, I think she said fuck the charger, and she was just like, it is what it is at this point. Oh yeah, and Pink was like, well, I'm gonna need it because I know you're gonna want me to take your pictures. And Purple was like, nah, it's cool, like, don't even worry about it. Funny thing is, we literally end up going to the Trap Museum, was really popular at that time. So we get out, we go in and everything like that, like, we walking around, like, seeing how everything is. And Purple, again, her attitude, like, she has the worst attitude ever. So these two people approached us, like, they were having a little conversation or whatever the case was, and they was just like, oh, like, you know, what do you do? And she was like, oh, I'm a rapper, blah, 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 blah. And then those names like, oh, that's cool, like, you should come to the studio, blase, blase. She started to be, like, real dismissive, which, granted, you're not obligated to talk to anybody, but I'm just, like, one of those people where it's like, if people not doing nothing to you to, like, harm you or, like, you know, bother you for real, it's like, you don't have to be rude, like, in my opinion. So she did that, whatever. So then she asked America first, could America take her pictures? And America was like, no, I'm finna take my own pictures. So I think that I ended up taking America's pictures. So then she went and asked Pink, like, can you take my pictures? And Pink was like, no, my phone's literally dead. Like, I asked you, could I use the charger? And you told me, no, I'm not taking your pictures. Mind you, America already upset from what happened in the Zaxby line when it came to that charger and how that girl was talking to her. Mind y'all, I might be cutting some parts, but when I tell y'all, for them to be best friends, Miss Purple was definitely overly trying to, like, do her big one when it came to Pink. And, like, that was just throwing me for a loop, because I'm like, if this your best friend, there's no way you should be talking to her crazy in front of a group of girls that you acting like you don't know, which, granted, you haven't known us for that long, but it's just like, you shouldn't be overly doing this. Like, if you had a real issue, you could have pulled your friend to the side and, like, had a conversation with her. She told her she wasn't taking the pictures, and that was when Purple's attitude changed. Like, she started, like, just blurting weird stuff. She was like, this why you don't mix friend groups, like, bitches is weird, like, you're trying to overly show out for your friends, you're trying to act like you don't want to take my pictures, blah, 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 blah. I would have took your pictures like it was nothing, blah, blah, blah. Like, she literally going off. But mind y'all, she not saying this directly to Pink. I think Pink was over with America. She was saying this while standing next to me, and I'm just like, girl, your attitude is just like, it's not that deep. Like, you could have even asked me to take the picture. So I'm like, the fact that I'm standing next to you and you didn't ask me to take the picture, which I would have took the picture for you, but the fact that you choose to go off on your best friend and, like, overly do the most of her saying she's not going to take your pictures when you see somebody else that's next to you that you know that you could ask to take your pictures, is giving you just one reason to be upset with this girl at this point. So we end up leaving the Trap Museum, and we walking down the street to go and meet up with our ride, because I think he had us meet him like a block over on a corner or something like that. Mind y'all, she's walking like far ahead. Like, we probably in the middle of the block. She all the way at the edge of the block. Like, she's just not fucking with all of us at that point. We get in the Uber, y'all, and when I say, like, shit just shifted for everybody, when I say the tension in that Uber back to the Airbnb was so thick, like, I feel like everybody was just over everything. Like, everybody was irritated. Everybody truly, I feel like at that point, just wanted to go home. And I remember the whole time, like, Purple in the ride, like, Purple was just like, you weird, this why you don't mix friend groups, everybody not meant to mix, like, this shit is weird, blah, blah, blah. And then Pink like, bro, like, you saying this like you don't know them, you literally been around them, you've been to our dorm and apartment, so it's like, what is your issue? Like, you're the one acting weird because you're purposely excluding yourself, and then you get on the phone with your friends, you trying to make it like we're doing something to you, when really you're the one that's causing this weird energy. Like, you're the one who bring it down the mood of the group, trying to make it like nobody messing with you, and it's like they are. Like, people are trying. At that point, me and America, it was like a 3-row car, so me and America all the way in the back, and we just looking at each other, and we were texting each other on a slick side. And I think America texted me, was like, girl, I'm so over this. And I text her back, and I'm like, no, like, for real, this shit is getting out of hand. Like, this is ridiculous at this point. Like, I really want Pink to say something and stand up for herself, because it's like, this girl is doing the most. Like, she's been trying this whole trip. And I get Pink wanted to be the bigger person, because that was genuinely her friend. Like, they've known each other for years, like, since they were children. So I'm like, I totally get why you would tread lightly when it comes to your friend, because we never expect our friends to be treating us no type of weird way, especially around people that, like, we just met type of vibe. But child, all I know is after they were bickering with each other, it just went silent. We ended up getting out of the car. We make it to the door. And I guess this is where Purple felt like it was her time to shine and play. And before we left the Airbnb to go to the Martin Luther King, like, museum or whatever, I literally had the key in my hand leaving out of the Airbnb, and I gave it to her to lock the door. So when she locked the door, she had put the key in her purse. Fast forward to the night after they finished arguing with each other after the trap museum and everything. We get back to the Airbnb, and the girls, America and Pink, were like, okay, y'all, where the key at? We need to open the door. I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh, Purple got it. So Purple walked up. She's like, what do I have? I don't have anything. And at that point, mind you, it was already tension built up in that Uber. So I'm literally standing there, and like, I'm looking at her with a straight face, and truly what was going through my mind was, it was gonna get crazy real quick on that porch, because I'm just like, at this point, you playing. Like, don't be sitting up here playing. Like, everybody already mad, everybody already irritated. Like, you're not finna sit up here and make it like I have the key when you literally have the key. Like, now's not the time to be funny. Like, we mad, we tired, like, our energy's drained. Like, we don't have time for no games right now. So I'm literally like, bro, I gave you the key earlier, and I watched you put it in your purse. So how you finna sit up here and say that I have the key? And she was like, but I really don't have the key. I really don't have the key. And then she starts smirking. So I remember Pink and America both looking at me. America, she was over it. Like, America looked like she was in a daze. Like, she was just irritated. She was zoned out, and she was just like, this is getting irritating. And then Pink was like, just standing there. She was looking at the both of us like, so who the fuck got the key? Like, bro, I'm not playing. Like, I'm really, like, I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, bro, I'm not finna fucking play. You have that key. And then she's like, okay, I'm just playing. I do have the key. So she opened the door. Me and America went to our side of the house. Like, we didn't even care to socialize or anything at that point. Like, we were both irritated. I remember I went into America's room, and I was just like, bro, like, I can't take this shit no more. Like, I'm literally about to lose my mind. Like, this is too much for me. And she was literally on the same page. She was like, this is too much. Like, I'm getting tired of her friend. Like, I didn't expect for her to be acting like she don't like us when she been around us. And then if y'all saying like y'all all just hung out 2 weeks ago, like, what's her energy shifting for now? Out of nowhere, we just hear Pink on the phone with her mom, and she's just like, no, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, like, she's doing the most this trip. Like, she's making my friends feel as though like she don't like them, and she's being very weird to them for no reason or whatever. And I do remember her mom being on the phone, and she's just like, wait, y'all, slow down, like, what's going on? So out of nowhere, you just hear Purple being like, no, she's lying, like, she's being weird, she's the one that's showing out for her friends, she's trying to show out and act like she don't mess with me like that, like, she's sitting over there, she making it like I'm the weird one, and blah, 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 blah. Like, this whole trip, she been being weird and not acting like a best friend, she not being a good friend to me, and blah, 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 blah. So Pink, at that point, all we heard was Pink literally scream out loud and say, don't touch me, do not fucking touch me, don't touch my phone. So while me and America, we listened, and we like, are they fighting? So when we heard that, we literally ran out of the room, and like, we see the both of them in the living room, like, in each other's faces, with Pink still holding on the phone with her mom. And I remember her mom screaming like, y'all calm down, like, y'all need to chill. Hung up from her mom. She was like, Mom, I gotta go. Because at that point, y'all, this is where you see, like, I don't know, but this is the point where you realize that, like, maybe Purple was never her friend for real all along. Like, Purple, like, at first she was coming like a concerned friend when, Pink's mom was on the phone. She was like, she being weird, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, that girl hung up that phone. When I tell y'all, Purple started spazzing, like, she was spazzing. She was like, bitch, you weird as fuck, blah, 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 blah. Like, you be acting weird, like you trying to show out in front of your motherfucking friends, bitch. Like, I know the real you. I know you for real. You know what I'll do to you. You know what I'll do to you. Like, you acting weird right now. Like, blah, 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 etc., etc. Pink had enough. Like, she was just like, girl, you the one that's acting weird. So, like, they going back and forth. And somehow from the living room, it went to the kitchen. And as they were arguing, me and America, like, we were standing there and we were watching. But at that point, I think America got tired of standing up. I got tired of standing up. So America ended up sitting on the counter, and I ended up going to the hallway that led to their room, but I was standing in the doorway facing the kitchen. So, like, I was here. No, America was here. I was here. The girls were in the middle, but facing each other. So I'm just standing there leaning on the wall, arms crossed. I'm just like, bruh, like, y'all are doing, like, this is a lot. Like, this is insane. But again, I'm very proud that Pink is standing up for herself, because I'm like, this heifer done tried you this entire trip. So this little meltdown or whatever the case is, like, it's bound to happen. But I feel like me and America's role was to just stand there and make sure that Pink didn't get touched, because, like, it was getting really, really intense, really, really fast. I know is that Purple made it as though she was about to walk away. She was like, bitch, I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you, because you know what I do to you. You know what I do to you. I swear on my friend, like, I would do blah, 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 blah to you, blah, 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 blah. So she pretends that she's going to walk off. So I thought that she was walking away, like she was going to walk by me and just go down a hallway. She literally walked up to me and she was like, no, Tanaya, because, like, y'all friend is weird. She being weird as hell. I'm like, y'all, it's not that deep. Like, you mad at her for no reason. She like, no, because that bitch is weird. And she was like, and if I really wanted to be petty, bitch, I'll make you lose all of your friends right here, right now. Me and America was like, what? What? Girl, what you talking about? So me at that point, like, in my head, I was like, you being petty now, because at the end of the day, whatever she told you, like, you ain't got no reason to come and tell us, especially if it wasn't on your heart or mind to tell us in the first place. Like, and mind y'all, we already had an idea of what it was already about, because there was a period where all of us were upset with each other or whatever. So I'm like, whatever she told you, like, I'm sure we all told our best friends stuff. So it's nothing for you to be sitting up here and trying to be like, I'll make you lose all of your friends right here, right now. We just like, no, you're being spiteful and you're being weird. And I literally told her, like, I was like, I don't give a damn what she told you. Like, I could care less. We all told our best friends things. And she was like, no, but I'm just saying, like, she's weird, blah, blah, blah. So she made it as though she was walking in the room. I never turned around to see if she made it in the room. But I do remember her coming out, and Pink said something along the lines like, no, because she's acting crazy. Like, she's really tripping right now. That girl came out the room. I don't know what that girl heard or what she thought she heard, but she literally came out the room. She was like, oh, you want to go low? You want to go low, bitch? You want to go low? Got in her face. I'm talking about close. And I'm just like, and I think at that point, that was when my mouth dropped for real. I was like, I was shocked. I'm like, girl, ain't no way. Like, you really finna fight your friend over you being upset that she has friends outside of you that she genuinely does like? I'm like, girl, like, this is weird. So she ended up eventually, I was like, y'all, like, this is too much. And I think at that point, I walked up and I grabbed Pink and I just literally started, like, guiding her towards the other room. And I was like, forget about it. Like, don't even, just hang it up. Like, forget it. It ain't even that deep. Like, fuck it. You stood up for yourself. That's all that matters. By the time we got to the room, y'all, and I felt bad. I damn near shed a tear solely off the fact that, like, watching Pink cry and feel so hurt and betrayed of, like, her friend literally sitting up here threatening to put hands on her when she genuinely did nothing wrong. One thing about me, I'm very unbiased. Like, if Mrs. Girl did something wrong, I could genuinely be like, no, like, I can't see how she felt that way. But genuinely, I could not. And that's not me being, like, biased towards my friend, but, like, that's just me being genuine. Pink did nothing wrong that entire trip. The energy first got thrown up by her friend before more than 10 phrases were spoken. Like, she was the problem in this whole entire situation. So while we're in the room and Pink is crying, America's like, girl, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe that. And I remember I literally sat on the bed. I think America was frustrated. America was ready to fight at that point. And granted, I was too, but my major concern was to just make sure that she was okay, because it's like, I know she felt like probably very alone in that moment. And that wasn't what I wanted for her at all. So I wanted to let her know, like, I'm here for you. Like, whatever she just said out there about whatever could have been said about me, like, I'm not worried about that. I don't even care what you said. Like, my priority right now is to make sure that you're okay and you know that I got you. So I'm literally, like, holding her and just, like, speaking to her and just, like, filling her with words just to make her feel better. I'm like, you don't deserve that. Like, nobody deserves to be treated that way. Like, you know, I don't like how she got in your face and made it like she was going to fight you. Like, that's not your friend. Like, that's not your friend. And I won't be your friend if you ever decide to tolerate being around her ever again. Because I'm like, that's just inexcusable. You don't threaten to put your hands on your friend and then you swearing on somebody else's life that you would definitely go there, and you, like, threaten her like, you know what I'll do to you, you know what I'll do to you. We finally get Pink to calm down, and she was just like, I can't believe that happened. And she was like, did I do something wrong? Like, what did I do wrong? We were like, you didn't do nothing wrong. Like, we watched the whole entire trip and we were waiting for you. If anything, you didn't do wrong enough. You should have been cursed her out the second that she got on you for absolutely no reason. but I understand why you decided to like tread lightly because that is your best friend. Like, it all makes sense. So it's like, we not faulting you at all, but just know genuinely you did nothing wrong. So then I don't know how it came up, but we got on the subject of the keys to the Airbnb. So that was when America was like, you should go get your stuff because I know you don't want to sleep over there. And she was like, yeah, but I don't want to go back in that room. And I was like, don't worry about it. I'll go get your stuff for you. And I'll also get the key from her because like, you're not going to have the key. Like, mind you, I think Pink's name was on the Airbnb. She volunteered to put her name on the Airbnb. So by right, like, she should be the one that holds the key. Like, not the girl that she just got into it with that's very unpredictable and been acting weird. So I'm like, I'll go get the key too, don't worry. So I go over to the other side of the house by myself, and she in there, of course, on the phone, yapping, giving a whole rundown. And y'all, I'm listening to her literally swap around, like, what actually just took place. And I'm just like, girl, I really started to just think that something was wrong at that point. So I was just like, okay, I know how to navigate with, a certain kind of person. So I was like, where's the key? And she was like, I got it. And then I was like, okay, give it to me. And she was like, no. And like, she was being so sweet. Like, when I tell y'all that girl went from here to here, like, she was calm now, like that creepy calm. She was like, no, like, I'm about to go out. And I was just like, go out where? Like, we could open the door for you, but you not finna leave the key and think that we finna stay in here with the doors unlocked asleep while you're out doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like, give us the key. And she was just like, but I'm gonna need it. What I'm gonna use? And I was like, well, you could call one of us if you need to get, whatever. And she was just like, I'm gonna just keep the key. Like, I'm gonna just keep the key. So at that point, I didn't give a damn about nothing she was talking about. I started to go through the room to try to find the key. I think the girl hid the key in her pocket or in her purse or something like that, which granted, she knew I wasn't gonna touch nobody's purse. So I ended up grabbing Pink's stuff, and I was just like, fuck this. I'm not finna keep playing with you. So I went back to the other room, and I was like, yeah, she over there playing, like, she not up in the key. She got it somewhere hidden, like, I'm not finna play her game, but here's your stuff or whatever. So the night goes on, y'all, and why the second we all fell asleep, imagine we was up for a while. I don't think we went to sleep till like 2, 3 a.m. type vibe. Like, we were just up all talking in America's room. And she literally snuck out the second that we went to sleep, y'all. So we wake up, and we're like, okay, we about to go to the Coca-Cola Museum. Where is the key to the Airbnb? We're walking around the Airbnb. We don't see her. We don't see the key nowhere. So I'm like, you need to call her and figure out where the key is. Mind you, America and I didn't even have her number. But yeah, we was like, just call her and see, like, did she take the key or maybe with all of our valuables in here to go somewhere? And she's literally like, she playing. So they ended up calling her. I don't remember if she answered or not. But I do remember, like, she was still playing that game of, like, she don't want to tell us where the key at or whatever. So, literally, I think that was when Pink called her mom again, started to debrief her mom on how everything went left and what happened. And mom was like, where's the key? Like, what does she do with the key? And we don't know. So, out of nowhere, I think that Pink texted her and she was like, girl, where the key at? Out of nowhere, like, Purple sent this long paragraph, basically, like, gaslighting Pink really, really bad. And I remember, like, in the message, she was like, you made me do that to you. Why would you make me do that to you? All you had to do was just be cool for the trip. You didn't have to be weird. All you had to do was make sure I was included. Like, you made me do that to you, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's literally making it as though, like, girl, you brought that on yourself. Like, you deserved it because you made me do that. Like, she wasn't taking any accountability of the situation. And it's like, what do you expect when you're dealing with a certain type of person? It's just like, okay, whatever, you could have it. And I remember all Pink cared about, she didn't care about nothing else that was being said, but she was just like, girl, give me the key. Like, I'm not about to keep playing with you. Like, I just want my key. I think that was when Pink's mom got tired and she was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to call her and I'm going to figure out where the key at. So she called the girl, y'all. Mind you, nobody could for real get a hold of her until we left the Airbnb. We didn't have a choice but to leave our stuff in there unlocked. So at that point, America shut down. Like, she was pissed. Like, she honestly didn't care to talk to nobody that last day, which granted, understood, like, whatever. So Purple's mom calls back while we're literally, like, walking through the Coca-Cola Museum. I think we were sampling pops at that point. And she was like, she said she left the key at the Airbnb. And we were like, no, she didn't. We literally looked all through the Airbnb. And then Pink's mom's like, no, she said she left it in the Airbnb in a drawer in the kitchen. Why would you put the key in a drawer when all you had to do was give me the key when I walked in there? Like, what was the point of you doing that? I'm just like, now you playing games and you just trying to be funny. And granted, like, it should have went different when I went in there and got that key from her, because I truly shouldn't have left without getting that key. So we literally are out, and we like, now we gotta rush back to the Airbnb to freaking lock the door. But at this point, I think we was to go grab something to eat, and then we went back. So we end up getting back to the Airbnb. We open the drawer. Lo and behold, it's the key, y'all. When I tell y'all that last day of the trip, that girl disappeared. She did not show back up to that Airbnb. And I don't even remember what happened to her stuff. I don't know if she snuck out in the middle of the night with her stuff, or if she snuck back there while we were out and she did what she did. You know, she grabbed her stuff, then tried to put the key in the drawer to make it like she never took it in the first place. But that was just that. And then, y'all, like, we were all just so exhausted. Like, she was blowing up Pink phone the whole day. Then we saw her making, like, little posts on Facebook, like, I need to redo Atlanta with the right people, blah, 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 as if we were the ones who caused her any type of, like, issues or hiccups. Like, you were the villain this whole time. You were the issue. But we ignored her ass again, because just, like, sometimes you just got to know the type of people that you're dealing with. Like, them the type of people that just thrive off of attention and just want somebody to give them any type of feedback. Like, you not getting that up off me. I don't even care no more. Like, whatever. So, y'all, the next morning comes. It's time to go home. Thank God. We go to the flight. That girl did not show up for her flight. And mind y'all, Pink was the one who bought that girl flight and paid for her share of the Airbnb. And she literally was just like woofing at the gum. She was like, I'm not giving you your money back, blah, 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 etc., etc. And at that point, like, Pink didn't even care. She was like, girl, I'm gonna get my money back, but, like, don't even trip on it. Like, it is what it is. And yeah, we went home. She was not on that flight. I think she ended up staying in Atlanta for like the next 3 days, and then she finally ended up coming back home. But when we came back home, y'all, it was crazy, because literally all of us had got COVID. So it was one of those trips that probably should never happened in the first place. But the fact that it did happen, I feel like it showed Pink who her true friends were, and how, you know, she needed to let that girl go. Like, I don't know what it was, like, but yeah, that's why I don't play when it comes to who I invite on trips. And yeah, if you want more story times, let me know. And what would y'all would have done, like, truly, like, if you were in the position of me in America being like those friends who are watching this whole thing happen, or if you were even Pink, if your best friend was to be showing out like that, like, what would y'all have done? Because truly, if I'm being honest, I feel like that trip should have went a whole totally different way. Like, the second that, like, the disrespect and, like, weird energy started towards Pink.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to the people who join me on Twitch live. Shout out to everybody who joins the live videos every night. Actually, I didn't go live last night because I had a birthday dinner that I went to, and it went over. It was long, and it was my daughter's birthday dinner. She turned 17, and good God. But yeah, so when I got home, I was exhausted. I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep on live. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, so shout out to this young lady, man. But she said, what would I do? First of all, when people acting like that, especially like if you ain't put in on this, you gotta go. We gotta figure out a way. Here, rebook your flight, whatever the case may be, but you gotta go and you gotta pay for it. Because I know if you fly Southwest, everybody's name is booked under them, and they can change their flight, but they gotta pay for it. Like, so you could have canceled the flight, and she would have got the credits, and she would have had to pay any difference. I'm like, girl, I wouldn't even have canceled the flight. I would have kept it and hope that she misses, so she'll have to pay her own way. Cause what you acting weird? What you acting weird for? Gaslight friends, this only happens on girls' trips. Guys don't act like this. When guys have a disagreement on a trip, you either fight it out or you talk it out. Most of the time when it's men going on guys' trips, we're there for the camaraderie and the being with each other or holding each other accountable. So when there's a disagreement, we talk it out. So there's no bickering back and forth. There's no a shouting match. It might be a shouting match for about 5 minutes, but especially if you got two headstrong alpha males that just gotta have their way. And you know, whenever you get an alpha male around a bunch of other males, they sound like a bitter bitch. You know what I'm saying? They don't really sound like, you know, they don't really give off the vibe of a man trying to be, you know, just one of the guys. They try to be a diva in the group, and oh, I know everything, I got everything, and look at me, you know, I'm this, I'm that. You know, people like that. I literally stay away from. There are people that who I know, men that I know, who personality I would not get along with because I'm a laid back person. And when I see people act like that, I be like, man, nah, let me move around because this dude ain't it. So, yeah, and I was just like, she was like, more story times coming. Girl, we don't want no more. We don't know more. You told us every detail, hour by hour, from beginning to end. And I get it. The girl was acting crazy. But I mean, it's a pretty detailed story. But y'all didn't throw a punch or nothing. Somebody got pinched, slapped, smacked, spit on, something. But y'all didn't even touch the chick. But anyway, everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this crazy situation in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.